All right, hello. I've got my audience members here, my parents, and today I'm going to be talking about why sleep deprivation is dangerous. So, audience members, have you ever driven to work, sat down at your desk, and realized you were still drunk from the night before?
Yeah.
Now,
Are we
listen.
supposed to answer out loud?
Before you get defensive and answer, I know that you know that maybe you weren't drunk, but you were inebriated in some sort, and that was because you were sleep deprived. And many studies show that being intoxicated because of alcohol and being sleep deprived actually have similar functions, actually has similar. They're similar in how they affect your cognitive function. According to the National Highway and Transportation System, fatal car accidents have similar statistics due to drowsy drivers and drunk drivers. About 30% of fatal car accidents are due to drunk driving, and about 20% are due to drowsy driving. So considering that we live in a culture that is all about hustling, doesn't really value sleep, is a concern, right? Because that means if people are tired behind the wheel, we're going to have less safe conditions on the road. Which brings me to my purpose today behind this speech, and that is to persuade you to take sleep deprivation very seriously and to consider taking the necessary steps towards improving your quantity and your quality of sleep. Now, why should you listen to me? Why am I a credible reference? Well, according to many surveys, many U.S. population surveys, the most sleep-deprived people in this country are healthcare workers, moms, and college students. So, I think I'm kind of credible. I'm all three. So, and not only will getting more sleep make the road and our world a safer place, but according to the American Psychological Association, it will also make you healthier and happier. So do yourself and everyone around you and get more sleep. And now for you to grasp this concept, I'm going to be covering three main things today. 1, how sleep deprivation is harmful to your health. 2, how sleep deprivation is harmful to your safety. And 3, what you can do that is simple, quick, and easy to acquire better and longer sleep. So, let's get to it. According to the CDC, the recommended hours of sleep per night are about 7 hours of sleep. And sleep is actually a very important and kind of undermined process in our body. So think of this picture here as our bodies. And as you can see, it's clear, right? Can everyone see this? You can see this here? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what sleep does, actually, let me start from the beginning. During the day, we take in so much information. We're constantly taking in information based on things we see, based on things that we smell, things that we hear, memories, lots of things. It's a lot for our brain to process. Think of sleep as taking out the garbage, okay? And if we don't sleep, or if we don't take out the garbage every day, this is going to accumulate. So, and that is what leaves us feeling foggy, kind of that, inability to function type feeling. So, over time, it's damaging to our health because it can also it can affect our kidneys, it can increase stress hormones like cortisol, and it can affect our hormones, our endocrine system. If it really gets backed up here, it can affect our immune system, which is our ability to fight colds. and it has many long-term poor effects. Now, maybe you're one of those people who thinks, I've always slept 4 hours a night. You know, I function just fine on 4 hours a night. Well, here's the thing with sleep. Maybe that's true. Maybe you feel fine or your body has adapted very well. But if this garbage accumulates in here and you don't take it out every day, it will go out in other places, including your skin. So, getting more sleep is not only better for your systemic health, but some studies actually say it makes you more beautiful. There's a 2010 study done in Sweden that compared rested people to not rested people. And what was found was that the people who were well rested were found to be more attractive. Now, you may be wondering, why is this important? That's just vain, who cares? But sleep deprivation increases the aging process, and it can also make our eyes more droopy. We can have dark circles around our eyes. Ultimately, it can affect the way that we communicate. So, if we don't get enough sleep and it affects our skin, it can affect our ability to communicate properly, and it can have many social implications. So, by getting more sleep, not only will you be doing yourself a favor, but you'll also be doing everyone around you a favor as well, which brings me to my second point. And that is how sleep deprivation is harmful for your safety. Now, specific to driving and operating a motor vehicle, according to Fisher Scientific in 2020, sleep deprivation impairs our judgment. It causes poor performance. We have a decreased coordination, which, by the way, are all similar effects to alcohol. And according to the National Lung, Blood, and Heart Institute, when we are not getting enough sleep, we have impaired focus and ability to problem solve as well. Our reacting time is much shorter, and we're less able to control our emotions. Again, these are all things that are necessary to drive a car safely. So if we're going to drive tired, you might as well consider you're driving drunk. And also, sleep deprivation is very harmful in our professional lives. In 2023, Sleep Advisor said that sleep deprivation is associated with an increase in medical errors made by physicians, leading to many preventable accidents. And the 1986 Challenger explosion that killed 7 crew members was actually linked to sleep deprivation. It was due to human error and poor judgment from being tired. So,
oh my God.
I know, I was shocked when I found that, when I read that. It was crazy. So it might seem like something simple, might even seem like, you know, you're, what's the word, like spoiling yourself by getting more sleep, but it's really necessary for your health and for everyone around you. So lastly, I would like to discuss one more thing using my visual aid. According to the American Psychological Association, if you sleep 60 to 90 minutes more each night, it's been linked to increased health and happiness. So first, visualize this with me. If you, by not taking this advice and kind of making this simple step, you're really missing out on the opportunity to have a clear mind and to have your systems working together in balance. But imagine if you did really think about where in your routine you have 60 to 90 minutes that isn't really serving you. Maybe you're watching TV, or you're doing things that you can't even remember you did the next day. Maybe you're making online purchases that you shouldn't make. I know I do that one. That's my guilty one. There's all things that, there's spaces, and if you can replace that with 60 minutes more of sleep, you have the opportunity to make a huge improvement in not just your life, but everyone's life around you. And you'll have yourself to thank. You did yourself a favor and everyone around you, and you slept. Before I conclude this speech, let's do a quick recap. Today, we discussed how sleep deprivation harms our health, and second, how it harms our safety, and third, what it would look like if we got just simply 60 to 90 more minutes of sleep per night. Now that you've learned a little bit more about what sleep deprivation can do in your everyday life, think back to that first question I asked you. When you got to your desk and you thought, how did I even get here? Am I drunk? Or am I sleep deprived? Am I disoriented for some reason or another? But don't answer, and don't feel ashamed, but let this empower you. And do yourself one more favor. Assess your daily routine, and I challenge you to find where perhaps you're using 60 to 90 minutes per day that isn't really serving you. And I challenge you to replace it with sleeping, even if it's a nap, even if it's maybe sleeping later or going to bed earlier. Just think about it. And if you can't do it for your health, I ask that you do it for me. And do me a favor and make the world a safer place. Do it for my family so that we can have confidence driving on the roads, and at least we can all work together